9 o'clock. Please join us for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first on the agenda is to approve the minutes of October 30th as written.
So moved. I'll second that.
Moved by Houston, seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We don't have any miscellaneous motions this morning, so we'll start with Pam Scott, Flint Hills Plaza Theater Grant. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're more than welcome to, yes.
Thank you. Well, you know I'm here to ask for money, so I'll get that out of the way right up front. I'll tell you a little bit about what's been going on. I started in 2016 going to different meetings because I was interested in older buildings and restoring them and things like that. So I thought, well, I better get me up to speed. And then 2018, the Plaza Theater fell into my lap. And I applied for a grant. Then the Heritage Trust Fund, they told me at the deed office to try that. Nobody had ever got it here, so I did all the paperwork and legwork and worried and fretted, and luckily I was awarded the full amount, which was surprising to me. With that grant, I got $90,000. There were 50 of us competing for the grant money, and out of the 50, 10 were awarded the full amount. So I was real proud of that and happy too. That grant had, along with fundraisers from the community, I had individuals that donated substantial amounts. I had friends that had fundraisers that brought in funding for that. So with that, I was able to put on a roof, repoint and replace structural blocks on one half of the facade. The other half is still waiting, as you can see as you drive by. But we're excited because right now I have located matching blocks, matching Carrara glass that goes on the front, and it's sitting waiting for shipment in St. Louis with Vitrolite, but you have to have money to get it sent. And once that comes, then I have a mason, the one that worked on the other side. He's contracted with me already, and he'll redo that front. But that's money again. Between the two of those, it's $14,500 that I will need to get that finished. Electric on the north side of the building has been restored, renewed, brand new, and on the south side. That on the south side allows for concession stands and the marquee. The marquee has been deconstructed, painted. The neon was refurbished in Kansas City. It's now on site here. I was able to get it back here, and so it's on site. But I need to get co-felts from Emporia over to put it all back together. And it does have electricity to it. So it's exciting when I flip on the switch and the lights underneath come on, but I haven't said anything or told anybody that. So the electric's on its way. Outside gutters had to be replaced as a request from the city because it was running off onto their restroom area down there, so I had to get those fixed. And then I have an architect on board. So, and that's TK Architects, in Kansas City, Ted Knapp, I don't know, some of you may know him. That was his company, and when he turned it over to Mike Cummings, and Mike grew up here in Burlington as a kid, and he still has family here. So he was interested in jumping on board and helping out. So anyway, I've got him secured. And with his team that he brought down, they put together everything that I've been working off of. I have since the theater's on the historical registry, I have to abide by state preservation. Everything I do has to go through the Historical Society and the Historical Preservation people to be approved first, which is a headache, but I do it. I want it done, and I want it done right. I don't want to have to go back and redo anything. I pay taxes, and I have it insured liability only currently, and this grant has come up before, and it was a quick turnaround back 2018, 19, something like that, 2018, 19. Anyway, the historical theaters were contacted and said, put together something. We want to see what's out there. We want to see what we've got. So we hurried quick, and I think in a 2-day time period, threw together things and submitted. And of course, I didn't get that because I showed progress. They were wanting buildings that had no roofs, that were minus a wall. So it was called the HEAL grant, Historic Economic Asset Lifeline. And so they were wanting to get those that were in more disrepair. And I had already secured my outside, so that took me out of that running. But now we've got the fourth go-around. And my Heritage Trust Fund is depleted, obviously. And with what I just told you I spent $88,809 to get that up to where we're at right now. On this grant, they've changed a lot of it and added a lot of different things to it. I couldn't apply for it. I had to have either the city or the county apply for it. And I knew the city doesn't have the economic development funds that the county has. So I went to the city, and they are applying, and what that means is that they wrote the letter of application, and Mayor Luke and I both had to sign that, and they support the application, of course, and they had to turn over their EIN number as proof that they were legal. So they've done that, and all of that's already in the grant. It's due the 10th, this month, the 10th. And so I'm trying to get all my ducks in a row so I can shoot it out the 9th and get it there before time. They have two parts to it. They have the facade, which is, you can ask for $75,000. I think that was the maximum on that for your front of your building. Well, I already had that committed with my Heritage Trust Fund, and you can't use the same monies for the same projects. So that was already knocked out for me, but the inside, I can move to the inside now. And Heritage Trust Fund is okay with that. I had a work day, had people show up everywhere, all over, and we deconstructed what the architects had said we needed to get rid of. And so we did that. And if anybody drove by and saw the dumpster out back, you probably wondered what we were doing. But we did that. And the inside maximum is 100,000 that we can apply for. And I'm going to go for the 100,000, but on this one, I have to have 100% cash match to even apply. And on the Heritage Trust Fund, I only had to have 20% to matching funds. So that's quite a bit of difference for me. I think I can stop there if you have any questions for me at this time.
And what's your plans for it? I mean, what are you going to?
What am I gonna do
Yeah,
with it?
what's the end result?
Well, first, let me tell you, it's a 501c3. So
Explain, I don't understand.
that's a nonprofit,
Okay.
tax deductible. I'm going to bring it back as to the live entertainment. It has a stage presence in it. And when it was built back in 1940, it was a movie house. So eventually, through other funding methods, KCAIC offers equipment grants where HEAL and HTF does not. There's a structural more. I'm going to bring it back to live performances. I'm president of the Coffee County Council for the Arts. Thank you for supporting us there. As you can tell, I'm pretty careful with funding and taking care of the county. But after the live entertainment, we can bring in any kind of performances you can think of, bands, dance groups, comedians, just any kind of entertainment, and we'll have a place for it. Right now, we have no venues that we can actually use without a lot of conflict. The high school, you say you're at a church, you only get church members, you don't get the community involved because they think it's for the church. So that kind of puts a bugaboo on some things. During nice weather, outside, we've done fairs and things like that. So it'll be a venue to have performances. And then I'm bringing the insides back to the main building that it was. It had a cry room upstairs. I'm going to put the cry room back in. And you guys go, what's a cry room? When you had a misbehaving baby or child and you wanted to see the movie, you could go up there and it was soundproof, had a big glass pane, and you could still see the movie and hear it, but the other patrons didn't have to listen to a fussy kid.
So the seating, I haven't been in there for 45 years, so the seating's out now, or?
The seats are still in there. There's a conglomeration, though. There's some of the original seats in there. They won't be there because I don't think my body would fit in one right now. They're about this wide. And then I don't know who, over the owners who had it, I don't know who put the other seats in, but there's some other seating in there, but they've been sitting in disrepair since our out-of-country owner had it.
Deal was in there.
So, but when it was first built, it seated 500, but it's been reconfigured on the inside over the years, and I think it's about 350 now.
So is there going to be more? I mean, I don't have, being a historical site, I don't have any idea what that gets you. Is there going to be more grants available later on to finish this? I mean, or?
I'm hoping, yeah. Heritage Trust Fund, they offer theirs every so often. I just have to keep on top of it and see when the window is to apply. KCAIC, Kansas Creative Arts and Industries Commission. It used to be Kansas Arts Commission. And they did away with it, and this is back now.
Do you have some of your own money in this? I'm just curious if,
Well, yeah, I'm paying the taxes out of my
right, but
funding and
for the,
for the theater, no, I'm a retired high school teacher.
no, I was just curious if you have, what,
Yeah, I will have some in because I'm cashing in one of my life insurance policies, so I'll put that toward it. So yes, I will have some of my own money in it.
Have you ever, has Scott ever visited with Jones Trust lately, or have you ever, Jones Trust, they do a lot of work in 4 different counties.
Mhm.
When you get this thing completed, it's gonna be serving Coffee County, but it's gonna reach out
Mhm.
if you reach your goal. Have you visited with Jones Trust?
I did at first, and I was turned down there.
I might suggest, and I don't know Jones Trust, other than just a name, but I know what they're doing.
Mhm.
I might suggest you might touch base with them again.
Okay.
They've got a lot of fun.
They've got more, they've got a lot of funds. None of us know how much or anything. But,
Right, right.
for servicing Coffee County as well as that's gonna reach out, I'd strongly suggest getting in touch with them.
I have a former student that's a director of the senior center over in Emporia, and when he found out what all I was doing, he shot me an email and he gave me Jones and he gave me names, and so I've got a lot of things that a lot of different places I can go to that.
Another one's Lewis Hyde Humphrey Fund. Lewis Hyde Humphrey?
Humphrey, I have to put that in.
They do a lot.
They are legal.
Yeah, Marvonia.
Well, we'll try another one. Not much.
They've done quite a bit in the past. I've heard of
Is it HIDE or HYD?
HY.
HY. Lewis Hyde Humphrey. Okay, thank you.
Now, your match, the match for the 100,000, what's it estimating to cost for the inside? Do you have any estimates on that?
Yeah. Let me find that I brought that. I'll take it and grab that paper. No. I wanted to say 33,000 is what we had figured about.
That's for the seating and the reconstruction of the inside?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. That's what we had.
So, if I may, so as we don't get too far past on our schedule here for the day, what is it, do you need anything immediately from us today, or are we passing along information?
What I would need immediately would be if you're going to donate anything to this cause, I need that in a letter form stating the amount so that I can put that in the grant application.
And you
So
need
they
that
can- by Friday, the 10th, yeah, by the 10th.
And you're talking that's for the 100,000 match, is that correct?
Yes, yes. And I have other places to go for other grants and funding once I get it going. I can go back to the Heritage Trust Fund. I'm became a member of the Kansas Historical Theater Association, and we're working right now on, hopefully, there's 43 of us refurbishing theaters like this across the state of Kansas, and we're hoping eventually that we can turn it into destination places, you know, bus tours and like that, and bring in bus tours to our communities. So, and we have a motel and we have restaurants, so we're pretty set for that. And I know with the CHIPS plant, housing is going to be an issue possibly, so I know that you guys have been working on that.
So, yeah, do you have a set amount you're requesting from us? I know you said you're going other places, so.
Well,
I mean, and the other question, I guess, would be, how long have you been working on this? Surely it wasn't last week.
no, I've been working on this a long time, but
But you're asking us to do something within a couple of days.
I know, and I apologize for that. I wasn't sure I was even
That's always been
gonna.
a pet peeve of mine since I got here.
I know.
We're being tossed something on our desk, here, make a decision real quick, and
Yeah,
thank
no,
you.
I don't want you to do
So,
that. I've gone to
I'm not trying to
Holtz.
be rude, I'm just
No, I
saying.
understand. I've gone to Holtz Foundation, I'm waiting on them, and I went to the Floyd Lewis Foundation, and I'm waiting on them.
Okay, so I mean, I guess in order to get you a letter with a dollar amount, we would need a dollar amount that's being requested.
100,000.
See how easy that was?
So,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind, so like I say, we don't get too far off, I mean, maybe I'm thinking wrong, but
No.
too
No,
far off,
you're fine.
too far off schedule that we bring this up again at roundtable, and just, 'cause as
Okay.
far as I'm concerned, we're here for the day, where we can talk about this.
I've requested 10,000 from Holtz and 10,000 from Floyd Lewis Foundation. So
Okay.
that's how much
What
I've
about-
requested from both of
I'm
them.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, no, that's fine.
And what about the city of Burlington? I mean, have you requested any funds from the city of Burlington?
They,
Because,
they just keep telling me they don't have economic development type funds that would benefit me. So, but they were willing to support me and apply for the application and do that. And I've got, a couple now that have moved new to town, and they're really involved, and they're doing fundraisers too, so we're doing some of that. If I would get the HEAL grant, they have a strict timeline. I'll leave that with you. It tells, this opened August 14th, and I didn't know about it at all. I went to August 10th and 11th, I went to Arts Council Symposium, and that's where I learned about it, so I haven't known that long about it.
So if you get your 2 grants that went out to other people for, you're basically looking for $80,000.
Well, in my life insurance policy, I've got another 10 plus a little bit on that.
I'm just trying to get a dollar figure.
Yeah,
in that.
I
So we can discuss
understand.
it later at roundtable,
Okay.
so.
I don't wanna change it right quick. You said you had liability insurance on it? Is that the only insurance you got on that production, that building?
Right now.
But if a tornado comes through or a storm comes, you
Or
lose all,
fire.
you haven't got nothing left.
for a fire,
It's built with bricks and stone and steel I-beams.
but the interior,
Yeah, I realize
Any
that.
strong
Probably
storm
hard
could take
to-
it down.
hard
I
to come up
realize
with
it.
the money to do all that, I'm sure.
Oh, it is.
I would think that you need that, I would think that you need that building insured for,
Before people throw money at it.
yeah,
I'm really sure.
I'd really be uncomfortable. If I were you, I'd be uncomfortable without some type of insurance. We have fires all the time.
Yeah.
We have storms all the time. I just think, and again, I'm not trying to be
Of course,
rude
if
or anything. I'm really uncomfortable with that building not having insurance.
If the building was demolished, you're not gonna build that theater back probably
No.
anyhow.
No, you're not, but adjoining buildings or
Right now, the adjoining buildings are,
Yeah, you're right.
I'm a little bit.
I mean, I don't,
do you want this
I don't-
timeline
Sure.
with this?
it's a tough call.
Well, Pam, we'll,
Again, and I wasn't trying to insult you
No,
or
no,
be
no,
rude,
no.
I'm just, you know,
Yep.
anymore with, major decisions, which $80,000 would be somewhat of a major decision. We'd like to have what we call a work session on it and talk about it.
I understand that.
Uh,
I understand that. I will let you know that, I went to the Kansas Historic Preservation Office, and in all of my research and everything that keeps coming to me, old newspaper articles and everything, I discovered that they had negatives of the inside of the theater. So they sent me pictures, so I know what the concessions look like.
what
So
it
that-
should look like.
Mhm.
Actually, I spent a lot of time in there as a kid, I could almost tell you what it's supposed to be.
Good.
I was gonna say, Tom, I spent some time in there as a kid also, and
Every weekend.
I think to get in the movie theater at that time was 25 cents or 20 cents
It
or
was
something.
I don't remember
25
that part.
cents.
It's gonna change a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I've had people tell me they rode the train from Sharp to Burlington, and for a quarter, they could get in the movie. After the movie, they'd go down the street to a little soda shop, ice cream shop, something, and get a Coke, and then by that time, Mom and Dad had driven into town to pick them up.
A lot went on back then.
Yeah,
Huge amount of history.
Yeah.
Need to try to maintain that if we can.
Well, we appreciate it, Pam. We'll talk it over during the roundtable this afternoon or later this morning and,
Okay.
have somebody get in touch with you.
okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for your efforts.
Thank you.
How are you?
Good. Running a little behind, noxious weed, Todd Bemis, you're up, sir.
I would like, excuse me, I would like to request an executive decision, an executive session to discuss non-elected personnel
Include.
with Brandy and Wade
At a commission.
as a commission.
In 30 minutes.
Wade said we need 20 to 30 minutes.
I'd say on this one, probably 20 would be enough, and it's non-elected personnel, but it has to do with, protected information. It's privileged information that can't be discussed outside of,
Well, not elected personnel's enough to,
you have to then say a specific area under non-elected personnel. So performance, disciplinary, those type of things.
I'll make that motion for 20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Bid, I'm going 25.
20 minutes. Okay, good.
No, I'm messing with you, sorry.
moved by McCurry, seconded by Knight. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. We will enter at 9:32, 20 minutes.
After 30
It got bad while we was gone, didn't it? You're supposed to do a better job keeping them people out of here.
I walked out for like 2 minutes.
And then they
Back
closed
when they were
it
here.
back, they were here. They snuck in while you wasn't on watch.
Yeah. That's detective work. You want to make your move.
Sneak attack. Well, we thought we was bringing 3 other people in here, but
So is Warren joining us today?
pardon me?
Or the jail updates
I'm assuming they're all on Zoom, but
Okay.
nobody's called me and said, hey, we'll be here for lunch, so. I'm assuming I'll be here on Zoom. Normally they touch base and say, we'll be around or something, but.
Cheap. Oh, I'm sure we still get charged.
Well, I mean, we don't have to buy lunch.
True that.
Pay for trips.
If we're gonna have a little bit of a continuation after the last one.
No action being taken today.
Okay. Well, do you know anything about the, River City Construction Goldberg Architects? Is it gonna be Zoom?
Yes. That's why I gotta get plugged in and signed in.
Morning.
Just don't trip over all this stuff.
We'll pick you up, Steve. Steve, we would pick you up.
Thank you.
We'll do some Facebook pictures to begin with, but we will pick you up eventually.
No laughter involved, is that right?
Sir, we wouldn't do that until after we posted your photographs.
Okay.
Minimal face to
Yeah,
pose,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Stupid Al.
I tried to scoot it the other day and all the lights came on.
Mm-hmm. Pushed the wrong button, didn't you?
I did. I don't know how, I think Angie finally unplugged it. That's how we figured out how to shut it off.
Yeah. All right, well, we're getting our stuff set up for 10 o'clock River City Goldberg Architects jail updates. I'm sure it's gonna be a good conversation. We got eyes. Morning, Stan.
Morning.
Still failing.
Where's your lunch?
Go with technology.
It's good when it works. Well, Wayne, did you like that hedge wood?
Did you do that?
Yeah.
Yes,
I
I
was-
did. Thank
I'd
you.
get it out of the back of my pickup, 'cause I was gonna be done. I thought, well, heck, I could use some wood. So I put it
Well, I appreciate the
stacked
work
it
on
up.
that. Yeah.
Kept you warm through that cold week.
Yeah, it helped. Well, I asked everybody I could think of. I thought you'd already left when it appeared, but I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, our house is partway down.
That's all I use is hedge.
Yeah, that's good.
I love cooking over it. It's off that different smell.
I'm restarting.
You restarting?
I just used it in here Friday, Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday, yeah, afternoon.
Amelia, how long you think your executive session's gonna take? 20 minutes?
Probably 30.
30? I just get things preset. Because we're probably gonna run over into your time, so we have to start bumping.
Okay, I can come back later if you guys would like.
Yeah, you're scheduled at 10:30, and it's probably gonna be a little bit later than that, maybe, I don't know.
I don't think it will.
You don't think it will? Think it'll keep up? Okay.
Okay.
It may be 10, 15 at the most.
Oh, okay.
I think anything they're doing,
Every time it comes to talk about the jail, I just figure it's
Add another 20.
gonna get lengthy.
I think for any of those meetings, they'll be first. This is just an update.
Maybe. Guess we start sending those around.
Yeah.
Hey, there we go.
That's the toughest part right there.
Morning.
Morning, can you hear
Good
us?
morning.
Yeah, we've got you.
Not everybody talk at once.
You guys are live and the floor is yours. Maybe
right.
introduce yourselves.
Very good. Well, good morning, everyone. We've got Warren Moody on the line, and then also Sydney Goldberg. Anyone else not from the commission?
Derek's on as well. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
More.
Okay, so we did want to give an update on where things are at. Warren, you've had some conversations, correct?
Yeah, just, in passing with, Sheriff and Wade and, talking about other things, but, just giving them an update on where we're
from what we're currently doing with scope reviews and such, and, there's a good chance, we may find some other savings, when scoping these, the lower apparent bidders out, so. Yeah, so just a quick update, obviously all the bids were, received, and we are doing meetings daily, 2 or 3 daily, sometimes more, vetting the scope of the apparent low bidders. Typically we're going to the 2 low bidders. And that really involves kind of a detailed line-by-line review of their bid based on the documents. The design team has been involved with these calls as well. The end goal is to make sure that we uncover anything that might have been missed ahead of time, to make sure everything is complete before we would make a recommendation to the county to award individual contracts to these substance suppliers. So, broad brush, we're below the threshold of 30 million. I'll share my screen. We definitely are appreciative of the design team and all their efforts in terms of all the bid alternates that were put on the drawings. And again, we always present those as what we call a relief valve, where we can pick and choose kind of an a la carte menu of items we want based on the pricing for those. So I'm going to share my screen here quickly. And I'm sure it's pretty small. So again, this is, I'll try to zoom in on areas and let me know what you can and can't see. I just wanted to show you, I guess, kind of the level of detail. So this is the brick. Can you see my screen?
It's very small.
Okay. I did kind of do a quick summary I'll show you, but essentially we've got on this left-hand side a tally of all the bid packages that were bid, plus all the general requirements, insurance, fees, contingencies that go below the line, and then off to the right are all the bid alternates and all their separate breakdowns. So I did, and again, this is a work in progress here. 1 second. Just because I knew it was going to be small. Can you guys see this PowerPoint?
Nope.
Okay, let me do a new share. You guys see this?
Yes.
So that's a little more legible, hopefully. So currently with bids received, we're at that $27,490,000. That is inclusive of a $627,000 construction contingency. Again, those are funds we hold back. It's somewhat of insurance, as we know. We're gonna find things may happen. So that's, again, those are funds that typically, historically, we're gonna maybe spend half of throughout the duration of construction. That's what we classify as unforeseen conditions, things that we could not have, I guess, predicted ahead of time based on the drawings and information on the site given to date. So that's where we're at for the overall project, and then we've got all these alternates that are in addition to this 27.4. So you want to run through those quick, Warren, in terms of, I think we're aware of what they are, but maybe just get them up to speed.
Yeah. Well, back to the contingency, I think we're all aware of this. We'll get through this job, and any unspent contingency would essentially be returned to the county in the form of a deductive change order, which would reduce the overall GMP. Same with allowances. We'll be covering some allowances. Any unspent allowances would be put back into contingency, increasing that contingency amount as we get through them through the course of the job. In regards to the alternates, they were essentially all add alternates. A1 is the big one. That is providing full modular steel cells in day rooms E and F. Day room, or alternate 2 is establishing or providing full modular steel cells in day room D. We have some other smaller ones in scope. The Sallyport, alternate 3. The base bid shows just a single lane sectional door on either side of the Sallyport to go with a 2-lane with 4 sectional doors for the Sallyport would be an increase of $188,000. Alternate 4 is second floor staff areas, fully fitting them out. Painted drywall, ceilings, flooring and such would be an increase of $247,000. Evidence lab, this would be providing the evidence locker, all the parts and pieces associated with that would be an increase of $157,000. Alternate 6, in lieu of, our base bid includes sealed concrete floors and epoxy painted walls. To go with a typical ceramic tile in the restrooms that you would see in most office buildings will be an increase of approximately $42,000. Security electronics, alternate 7. This would be essentially buying the security equipment up front for the existing Coffee County Courthouse. 2 prices, we arrived at that, one from our detention contractor, Pauly Jail, through Accurate Controls, as well as our electrician who would have to figure roughing in and installing the actual security equipment itself. P&P bonds by all the subcontractors is alternate number 8. My personal opinion, I suggest that we do go with a performance payment bond, make that a requirement for all subcontractors to provide. The reason is to be determined right now. We have additive charges from all the subs for this bond on their base bid only. If we decide to go with alternates, those bond costs would increase. Lastly, alternate 9, I really don't think we're going to go with alternate 9, is exterior light poles of the building. This is adding light poles actually onto adjacent to school property, and we really do not want, we don't want to bother them with any of our construction work. I'm sure we can all make. So that's the short of it. I mean, between 30 million and 27.49, we're about a difference right now of about $2.5 million. What's not included in any of this is the courthouse renovation portion, the demolition of the existing areas, the added courtroom, stuff like that. So that's something that needs to be considered as well. But we do have we are currently 2.5 million under.
So the other thing that we're seeing, and Warren mentioned it previously, is this 27.4 number we're carrying currently is conservative. And we will send you this information along with the full bid calculation. There were some variances in bids that concerned us, one being at the steel, the other being in the masonry. We've since had sit-down meetings with both those contractors and have a level of confidence that we can use their bids. Jump in as you want, Warren. But so what that means is, again, just full transparency. We think conservatively there could be another $400,000 to $500,000 in reduction from that 27.4 number we're looking at now. So we just want to make sure we do our due diligence and understand with full confidence that the steel fab and erection contractor as well as the masons have all scope covered. There's no gaps, there's going to be no issues. So we're cautiously optimistic that 27.4 is going to be perhaps below 26.9, something in that range. Anything to add to that, Warren?
Yeah, Gabe, actually on the spreadsheet that you initially shared, I think the numbers we're currently showing right now for those 2 packages, masonry and steel, are the actual numbers or close to the actual numbers that we got. I think initially we were, I know we were shown the second place bidder. The steel fab, we were always shown the low bidder. So I think those numbers now are accurate or much closer to what they should be. I know that our steel fabricator gave us he had missed some site hand railing or did not figure it, so he did send us an upcharge on a couple of things related to site hand railing and some support steel for the security walls in day rooms. But on your tracking spreadsheet, there are a couple of them that I think will go down, therefore lowering this base bid. Our glazing, I know we're currently showing $170,000. We probably will be able to take off about $60,000 off of that. Another one is our ethos and weather barriers. We're currently carrying $230,000. We have a couple of, and that's actually just an allowance amount right now because we really didn't have any timely bids on ethos and weather barrier. That was the main one. We did get some bids, but they didn't show up as we had asked. They didn't send it to the right place or get it to the courthouse, things like that. But we think that number right there itself may decrease about $100,000 as well. So we're still scoping those things out, but other than that, I think the numbers are fairly solid right now.
Okay, so I stand corrected, we're maybe a couple hundred lower than this 27.4, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So, any initial thoughts or questions?
Well, mine would be to the sheriff, you know, what in the bid summary, you know, would be needed, I guess, for this project.
Evidence lab and security electronics.
What's the first one you said?
Evidence
lab.
A5.
Where does the renovation of the courthouse come in then?
After this.
So that's separate, that would be
It's not
separate.
part of this
It's
deal.
not part of this, no.
Okay.
No, and I think the estimate for the court, or for the judge's chambers and everything was about $3 million, wasn't it?
1.5, I think.
Oh, 1.5?
1.5 is less I heard.
And one clarification, Warren mentioned a new courtroom. It's not adding a new courtroom, it's renovating the existing magistrate courtroom. Just for full transparency for the public, it's not adding a courtroom, it's
It's just
renovating.
right. Okay.
Correct.
So, Tom, on this Sallyport, so without this upgrade, it'd be a one lane, is that correct?
Yeah, basically one side port, which is all I have to have.
So is there room for two vehicles in that one lane, or do you just have one vehicle?
Again, I think there's room for two vehicles, but in the length of it, but it's irrelevant. All I gotta have is room for one car, you know.
Okay.
I wanted it big enough to put, you know, a small, van, a bus in or whatever when I'm hauling federal prisoners back and forth. As long as I got one, I'm okay.
That, you know, we're trying to.
I appreciate
obviously
that
we wanna
too, but
build what you need, you know?
from A1 through A9, if I'm okay with, we already talked about that, you know, with you, I can do the day rooms, that's no big deal. The day rooms are okay. I don't need another 1.1 million to put those steel cells in there. I need some steel cells, but I'm okay with that. The day room, like I said, the Sallyport, we'll take that off again. The second floor staff area, you know, would I like to have all that done? Obviously, sure. But when it comes down to the very, because we need to leave money in this to get that courthouse renovation done. And so that evidence lab and those security cameras, systems, I mean, I gotta have those. I don't wanna get this done and then call somebody else in and do all that work. We need
Right.
that here. while they're building it, and they can install, run their wiring, and get everything put in as they're building it. So that's the two things that
Okay.
I would like to see.
So I mean, you know, obviously, Steve and I came in with, don't know a lot of the background of this, but
Yes.
the courtroom upgrade is part of this 30?
30 million, yes, sir. It's all part of it.
Okay, that's what these guys were discussing that
We have
before,
to,
and I didn't
that's
know.
why I'm saying, we need to make sure that we're pretty, you know, tight on what we do for the jail, because we have to have, you know, $1.5 or $2 million to fix this.
So that was
Courthouse.
included in that 30 million talk, I mean, the renovation.
Renovation.
is part- Okay.
Thank you.
Going out to the public,
Okay.
that's part of that bond,
Okay.
of that $30 million.
The whole ball is 30 grand
Okay.
with the renovation of the court and,
Okay.
and the jail, and this is just the jail only.
Okay.
Because the renovation part, wasn't it around 283,
I thought it was close to 3, but
in that 3
They're
range?
saying 1.5 or 1.8.
Again, that's something I guess talk to Warner. I thought the last I heard it was 1.5, 1.7 million.
Thank you.
Yeah, we were, and Derek, feel free to jump in here. We were able to simplify the renovation a little bit just to keep that budget in check without changing the functionality. We are waiting on the final okay from the judge on that layout. But as that scope is dialed in, some of these added scopes of work could also be added later in the project. Like, for example, the second floor staff areas, as the project's finishing up, if both areas of work are, you know, on track, under budget, and, you know, that's something that could be added later. And so there is a little bit of flexibility there. But we were able to reduce the courthouse renovation without losing the functionality you all need, to 1.5 to 1.7 million.
Okay.
And if we, just doing rough numbers, if we add the evidence lab and security electronics, to the 27.4, that leaves about 2.3 million in the bank. That can be used towards, as Sydney said, additional alternates and or a combination of that with, the courtroom remodel.
I mean, looking at the current alternates right now, this is just my opinion, the value of alternate 4 and alternate 6, those I think could be added in and still leave enough for the courthouse renovations. Keep in mind, these numbers, there's no guarantee that they will, if we look at them down the road later on, they will probably go up, most likely. I doubt they go down. They might, but you just never know. These are probably our best bets to do these now rather than later, so.
You know, I'll be totally, like I said, honest here. We're trying to be as transparent as we can. You know, I have an evidence room at the annex. You know, I don't want to keep it there. I'd like to have everything under the same roof.
Sure.
But if it comes down to it at the end, and we need to save $157,000 to get this, you know, other portion done, what I'm calling the courthouse renovations, you know, then we can take off $157,000. Yeah, I'm just saying that if we have plenty of money, I'd like to have the evidence lab in my new building. But if not, I can make do with what we have. Now, that being said, you know, that annex is 30 years old, and it still leaks in some spots. We've talked to Angie about having some work sooner or later. There's going to have to be work done to the annex if I keep it as my full-time, you know, evidence room, evidence lab, storage area. No matter what, I can't give it up. I got to have that building for storage. I mean, I've got to have some place to put vehicles under, behind a secure gate and razor wire. So, because we don't have any space that's been placed to put vehicles we've seized,
Right.
or evidence of any size. So just that being said, if I give back the $157,000 to use someplace else, remember, sometime I may be saying we're gonna have some roof repair, you know, or something like that done at the annex.
But Tom, even throwing the evidence lab and the electronics thing onto the 27.4, that still leaves 2 point something million for the For the courtroom.
I know, I understand that. I don't want to say, yeah, I want A1 through A9, and then we're squeaking to try to make that courthouse done. That's not what I'm here for. I mean, we bid this package, we all did. We bid this package, $30 million to do it all. So whatever I gotta do, I'll give and take.
Well, I appreciate that, and I think everybody here wants to save money, but on the other hand, you're doing a renovation that you're not gonna wanna do every 10 years.
Exactly.
So if there's things, I mean, nobody's any tighter than I am, but if there's things we need to do while we're doing it to make it
Well, that's
last longer, basically, or it doesn't need something different.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's a juggling act to get the money where we need it, but I don't wanna cut short either.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't think any of us
You know.
have to do that.
I guess I don't understand the day room A1 and A2.
So day room A1 EF is the two pods E and pod F, that we put as a day room. Okay, the bunk dormitory style housing, to save money, not putting those individual steel cells in. So that's what it would cost if we decide now to put those steel cells back in. Two pods is 1.1 million.
What goes in their place if you don't put that in?
Like I said, it's dormitory style housing. It's just bunk beds, as far, just in rows, defibrillated. Dormitory style housing is what it's called.
For your safer prisoners.
Absolutely. Those federal prisoners, those white collar crime people that you've got from another county that aren't problems, you put them in day rooms. Yeah, there's the day room pictures there.
The idea would be that the ceiling would have a cover on it they could remove in the future. If you needed to put in more cells, you could put more cells into those day rooms later, but for now you wouldn't have to do that.
Okay.
And that's what Lynn County did. They've got a similar setup in Lynn County.
But believe me, those federal prisoners, those people from Johnson County, Wyandotte County, they're more than happy to sleep in dormitory style housing that's got room instead of being packed up laying on the floors. So, I'm more than willing to do that, to save some money, to make it all work. It's just, we talked about those two north cells on the north end, and the reason for that was, years later, when new sheriff was here, and he decides that he wants to put those in, you could park a crane on the Osho and put those cells in on the north end. You can't put them on the south, there's nowhere to reach, But on the north end, you could put cells in there.
All of this was brought to the community ad hoc committee, and in their discussion on that, to paraphrase, is just basically, what would it cost us in the future to do that?
Right.
Why don't we go ahead and do it now? And that's where we got to 92 beds with steel cells. But in order to save money, being able to pull those steel cells out, in fact, the question was asked directly to Goldberg, exactly how much would it cost us to put in the beds now rather than later? And so that's where we got to where we are now with the 92 beds with the ad hoc committee.
What's the time frame for this all come to a start time of building? What's the time frame from here on out in the next 2 months?
Well, our goal is to give the county a guaranteed maximum price after our due diligence prior to the holiday. And then you guys would have time to process and approve that. Warren, I think, what's your schedule showing?
Well, I mean, a lot of the stuff, I've been asking this question as well. We would like to have something presented to you guys for your all's review and discussion by November 20th, that Monday before Thanksgiving. Then, I mean, if everything, we can agree upon everything, we would be starting work, or at least get a notice to proceed, notice of award, and a notice to proceed sometime in the month of December. We'd like to start work before the end of the year, if possible, with some site demo, and definitely after the new year be starting. So we're looking like November 20th, having numbers for you guys finalized.
Time frame for completion, I know there's a lot a lot of things that'll happen between now and then, but you're looking, without the basement and everything, maybe cutting a couple months off, you're looking 15, 16 months construction time, as long as the weather don't screw us up completely.
Our construction time right now is figured at 18 months for the new building. Then, we got a placeholder right now for additional 6 months for the renovation of the existing courthouse.
See, that'd be mid-25, that's not too far off from where the original, not too far off from where the original schedule was, they were shooting for, mid-25, and then the end of 25 on renovation.
And we'll push as hard as we can. You know, the sooner we get out of there, the better for everybody. The one thing we're up against, and most of you know, is just lead times on switchgear, transformers, pieces and parts. So it's important to get you guys everyone there at GMP that's approved so we can get stuff coming.
Another one is the steel cells themselves. They have a tremendous lead time. And Paulie, who would be our detention contractor, looks like their main thing, do we go with the alternate, are we going with the alternates or not? So they can start putting that slot in with the fabricator for later next year. So for delivery later next year.
Well, I don't think we're going with the alternate for the other two pods, are we?
Yeah, I don't think that's
Doesn't sound like it's in the budget.
Well, we do have steel cells on the south. There are steel cells still going into the building.
Correct.
Yeah, those right there is part of the base bid. Day rooms A, B, and C.
correct.
And Wade and Sheriff, we'll send all this information over to both of you. You can distribute however you see fit. It's going to have the bid tabulation as well as our spreadsheet showing a breakdown of all the low bids with the fees, and then a summary of all the prices that add up to those alternate costs. You'll have that this afternoon, and like I said, we'll follow no later than the 20th with a guaranteed maximum price that is hopefully lower than the numbers you're seeing today.
Warren or Gabe, whoever can answer, it was my understanding that you received bids on almost everything, but there was still something outstanding.
We did get bids on everything. Some of them were not timely, such as the ethos and weather barrier. But we did have another one, exterior improvements, or work category 32. We got bids for everything in there, but from 3 separate subs. So we were actually pretty pleased with the turnout. In the end, we were a little nervous about the general works category. We got a good complete number for that package now. I think from a very good sub as well. So that's probably one of the most important scope items we have out there. So.
Yeah, to answer the question, we do have firm numbers on everything. Some of the bidders misunderstood the assignment and sent numbers direct to our email inboxes in lieu of our delivery to the county. So if there's any procurement issues with that, we want to make sure we follow protocol. But again, these were more minor scopes. So what was the EFS worth, Warren, ballpark?
We had a plug number of $230,000 right now. We're looking at some numbers that are in the $100,000 range. So.
Yeah. So again, multiple bids, competitive, just not hand delivered to the county. So again, we'll do all of our proper due diligence to vet the low bidder and make a recommendation. Just want to make sure we're not needing to rebid some of those pieces. We don't see the need to from our standpoint, but we want to make sure that's full disclosure to the county.
I don't have anything. I think the sheriff and Eric are in tune to exactly what they need and exactly where the budget needs to lay, and concerned about the renovations, so you guys know what you can live and what you can't live without, so.
A lot of efforts went into that, I'm
I
sure.
got confidence in what your decisions are.
I think what Wade talked about there with the, you know, the idea that what we're trying to put together here is something that doesn't need to be revamped every 10 years is important. You know, the original plan that we talked about with Goldberg was with that in mind, right? That 40-year plan rather than that 10-year plan.
Right.
And so some of the things you look at and you say, yeah, you know, that's something that probably could be used in 20 years, but, you know, what do you do about it right now? And so what we can live with, what they've come up with, that's basically what we have to do right now.
You can live with it for 40 years.
Apparently. Who knows what it'll cost in 10 or 15.
You can live with this one over here for 40 years.
Yeah.
I guess in summary, I mean, we're ecstatic with the results. It was a really true team effort between the sheriff and his staff, as well as Sydney and her team. We knew we had a problem. We needed to get to 30 million, and thankfully, with the collective efforts of everyone, we're here today. We're excited to build the thing and get out of your hair 2025. Again, our goal over the next couple of weeks is to find as much savings as possible and give a GMP that we're fully confident in, that we can move forward with procurements and getting folks released. Warren, anything else from your end?
No, like I said, we still probably have about a half dozen, a little more scope reviews to do. There's 4 more we need to get scheduled. Everything else has either been held or is already scheduled. We think that base bid with fees is going to come down a little bit. Don't know the number yet. And the big, we cannot figure out the official GMP until we know for sure which alternates we want to go with, so we can include the appropriate bonds with our subs. Sounds like for sure alternate 5 and alternate 7, which I think is smart to do now. Sounds like we can live without alternates 1 and 2, which will help the budget, as well as alternate 3, the Sally Port. That sort of leaves us alternate 4 and 6, and the renovation part. So I think if we take alternate 4 and 6, we're still left with 1.7, 1.8 million approximately for the courthouse renovation. So
Something else we could explore for the county is, you know, once we vet and find the low responsible bid, is ask them to hold their price on alternates 4 and 6 to a certain date, say maybe a year from now. That way, if the numbers are looking good, we haven't spent much contingency, maybe that's something we can add back in without any kind of significant increase.
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, we can ask them, but I think they're going to be hard pressed holding something out that long. You know what I mean? We can ask, but
sure,
things fluctuate. I just listen to the news. It's
Who does that? There's nothing good on it. I mean, I think I would probably be good with adding A4 in with it while it's there. If it, I don't know what that totals. So.
That would seem more important to me than A6, but I
I don't care for A6. I don't-
That's just.
Bathrooms, restrooms are restrooms,
Yeah.
so they don't need to be
I mean,
permanent.
if it's concrete, that's something that could be done later. But I wouldn't see the need for it, but.
What was the price of A4?
Um,
214?
247,000.
247? You think that's
Again,
fair?
those are finishes too, Warren. We could write those into the contract and easily deduct them later, right?
Yeah, right. My only suggestion on, and Sydney or Derek, on your all's intent on alternate 6, there's a lot of restrooms that, we're talking about, but in my opinion, your main public restroom on the first floor, where the public comes in, they have to use it, at least that room have the appropriate finishes. All the other ones, yeah, sealed concrete and epoxy paint, for like individual staff in there, I don't think anyone's gonna notice, but the main restrooms, people are gonna talk about not having ceramic tile in there, in my opinion, so.
Yeah, we can definitely look at that as an option, just to do that one restroom with ceramic tile, and that wouldn't be that much of a natter really, so we'd leave it up to the county to decide if they want to do that once we get the cost.
And maybe peel it out of contingency later, you know what I mean? If we're looking good on contingency, but, with anything, we gotta pull the trigger at a certain point. If it goes too long, prices may change, or they don't have time to, procure and deliver the material. So, we gotta figure out that point as well.
Well, 4, 5, and 7, I guess, is kind of what our opinions are here, Warren, Gabe. If I have my 2 choices, it would be 5 and 7. If we have the money left over, I'd like the staff area done for the A4, but I guess we'll see what we got there. If you want to highlight A4, Gabe, so we can make sure we have that. Those are my choices. And again, I guess we can always fight for it before it's over with here, decide how much money we got.
Right.
And I would look at what that one restroom, quote, the public restroom would cost, to finish it out, ceramic, you know.
One bathroom,
The main bathroom.
the public restroom would come in.
Yeah, I mean, you can't be, if you're looking at all the restrooms being 42,000, you're looking at what, probably 15 grand?
Yeah, 15 less, I'm sure.
15 less, I mean, I think your public deserves to see something halfway nice, you know, for a $27-30 million building. But that's just.
I guess I can see that point.
And hopefully there'll be enough in the contingency to pay for half of that stuff.
Yeah.
Our goal is always to, if, worst case, give you half of that contingency.
That's our goal.
Sounds like a good one.
Bill, these last 4, 5, 6 weeks, when we've seen the first figures, you guys have done a fantastic job of getting it down to the level we can work with, so, I know this project's turned out a much bigger project than what I ever expected it to be, although I knew it was gonna be big, but sure appreciate everything you're doing and getting this put together.
Well, and it sounds like you may find a little more savings as you go to finishing these figures up, so.
That's the hope.
Hey, Warren, Gabe, how important is it to get the final approval from the judge on the court side? Do you need that? Do you need to know what those plans will look like so you can move forward sooner rather than later to get to that 1.5 or whatever it is? I mean, that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, question, yes, because that is not, other than the security electronics, nothing has been bid on that courthouse renovation, other than just some budget numbers only.
Yeah, once we get a final design, we can get River City some more detailed construction drawings so they can get a closer estimate on the cost.
And what does that look like? Let's say you get the final approval today, what's your timeline look like on the court side?
First quarter of, next year. I mean, we would want to get our subcontracted out and, get them going on the base bid, we'll call it, the new law enforcement center, submittals and stuff like that, then, approach them with some change order documents to, price that courthouse, so.
Does a delay impact the pricing on the court side?
Maybe, I just don't know, with cost of materials and stuff like that, you just never know, so.
So I know you're waiting on the judge, but the 5 gentlemen that sit right here are the ones that make the final decision, so you may just set a time on the calendar and say if you don't have something by X date, then you move forward. And I see the chairman nodding his head up at that.
Just as long as I'm not in front of the judge, I'm okay.
Thank you for that input, that's very helpful to know. So we'll follow up with you all, regarding those plans.
We'll get a hold of Judge Wine. If you haven't seen, the state has had some issues with the judicial branch that has required some additional time and attention, but I'm sure if Judge Wine knows that a decision needs to be made soon, he'll make it soon.
Thank you, Wade.
Warren, I've got a lot of projects going through my mind. This renovation necessarily wouldn't happen until we're done, is that right?
Yeah, that's correct, because we have to move other functions out of this space. So there's no rush in that sense, but we do need to lock in some more firm pricing estimates, just so everyone feels comfortable with the numbers. But yes, you're correct, Gabe.
Okay. So that's it. I think, to Sydney's point, once we finalize that program, we'll put an estimate together for that with supplier input. We'll put necessary escalation on that, knowing when it will hit. And I think that's what we do. And then we bid that, strategically in terms of, on the tail end of this job wrapping up with some of those key sub-suppliers is what I would advise in lieu of, a change order to who's on site.
I'm good.
Sounds good to me. Everything's going in the right direction.
Yep, guys.
Thanks, Sydney. Thanks, Gabe, Warren. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you all.
Our pleasure. It's been a fun ride, but it's just really beginning. So we look forward to the next steps and getting a shovel in the ground.
Yeah, headed out there now with a pick. See you guys. Yeah. We want to get ground busted.
Don't worry, he ain't gonna last long.
Won't be too big a hole.
Thanks. Really appreciate that, guys.
Thank you.
See y'all later.
No bigger than the potholes we got out there now. Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone,
Appreciate it.
see you later.
Are you gonna take a lunch break, or are you gonna be? How are we go? Here we go.
We bet on that, you said this were gonna last 10 or 15 minutes, now it's 49 minutes.
Oh, there was some talking going on. A lot more chatter.
And a reaction.
Yeah.
Amelia, Health Department, you're up.
Good morning.
We might wanna wait.
Right,
How long-
you're not gonna take long.
How long will it take, Ryan? Amelia, we might.
10 minutes maybe?
Okay,
Yeah,
come on up.
I'll be at 4:30, if not more.
Yeah. I didn't want to have to sit here and wait for executive session.
Maybe a couple.
All right, no call outs this weekend. I don't have any road permits for today. Our paint striping was completed Saturday. So you've probably seen some new paint around the county. It's always nice when it gets down.
Sure tell the difference, especially on chip and seal that's been down 3 years. There's, you know, it's been rubbed off a little bit, that paint really shows up.
Well, that's something new this year that
Really shows up.
we usually just would paint the stuff that we redid this year, but this year we added a few extra miles, like 30 extra miles of stuff that will be chipped in a couple of years. Just, you know, I know some counties, they paint all their stuff every other year, no matter what, and, you know, it definitely, like you said, it increases the visibility on the lines, so I don't know what, you know, next year we may look at tweaking that a little bit more, but it was a good first step in some of that.
That 4 miles south,
Yeah.
that 4 miles south Louisville really shows up.
Yeah. We will be finishing the turn lanes out at 17th and 75. That's stuff that we paint ourselves, so they're working on that right now.
Is there anything the state can do, and I'm not gonna drag this on, is there anything the state can do on the turn lane at Wolf Creek? Because I don't know how many times I've about seen people get smoked, because somebody's turning left, or somebody's turning right, or both, and people are passing in that turn lane. I mean, it is.
That's a question for the state. I don't know, I mean, if there's
Even
outside of
a
extra
sign,
signage.
not a passing lane.
Yeah.
No passing, or I don't know what.
Yeah. I mean, you can have signs, but then it'd have to be enforced to make a difference, really.
That is very, very dangerous. Very dangerous.
Lots of people won't slow down for it.
It's not a good situation.
You just whip over, and if somebody's turning, you know,
Right.
if there's a semi sitting there making a left-hand turn, you're going northbound.
Right.
And they get over there and they're passing them, and somebody can't see them, they're right in front of them.
Right.
It's done. I mean, it's.
Yeah, just that quick.
I've said my piece, so.
You got plenty of empty paint containers. I had somebody ask about that the other day.
Yeah, well, there was already some out at the landfill, but I know we've got more to take out.
Okay.
So, yeah, there's some out there. Had about the third time I've been asked that today. So.
Okay.
What size are those, Ron?
I want to say they're 250 gallon, maybe.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, they come in a tote? Is that-
Paint totes, yeah,
Yeah.
come in plastic totes. All right, first motion, we've got two motions today. This is the first one, so this has been for the lean-to off the west side of our truck barn. We wound up with one bid out of that. We had two people that got the information from us, and Evergreen, so they've done some other work for us in the past. They're out of Emporia. But that's the one bid that we received for $88,782, which was about what we had envisioned it was gonna cost us. So I think for budgetary numbers, we were like 95, kind of what we was looking at, but, it's like a March 1st start date, and then 90 days for completion.
Okay.
So,
Motion, based upon the recommendation of Road and Bridge Superintendent, move to approve bid from Evergreen Design Build LLC for $88,782 for the truck barn lean-to addition, and at the county shop, funds to be paid from capital improvement line items.
So move.
I'll second.
Moved by Thompson, seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
all right, thank you. That's been on our radar for several years to get that going, so it's gonna be a nice addition down there. Next is a motion for disposal for the metal pile out the landfill. So it's getting large enough, it's time to look at getting rid of it. So just get the process started so we can start getting some numbers and see what it'll bring.
Based upon the recommendation of Road and Bridge Superintendent, move to find that approximately 75 tons of scrap iron and metal appliances are no longer required and cannot prudently be used for public purpose of Coffee County, and as such shall be disposed of by the state to the best bidder based on competitive bid per ton at the time of disposal, to be published notice of intent for such disposal in the official county newspaper. Move.
Second.
Moved by Knight, seconded by Huguenin. All in, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes.
Alright, thank you. And then I thought I would have the resolution for the first minimum maintenance roads, but we had a couple minor changes we come across last Friday, so I'll have that next Monday.
So this bidding on the scrap, that's gonna be per ton, is it? Is that how they're gonna bid that?
Yeah, so, yeah.
So they'll scale it out on the
Yeah,
scale?
correct.
Okay.
They come in, usually it gets bailed
Very
up,
good.
and then they scale it when it goes out.
Okay.
Yeah, and that is what I have. Guys have anything for me?
What's your expected price on a steel bid? Is it $100 a ton or?
I would say it's probably gonna be at least that.
And we're paying $140.
Yeah, I
Shred
mean,
at their location.
Yeah.
Bid there.
so I know it's gone up just a little bit here the last, month, so.
I just saw one of them had a bid for shred brought in, that's all I saw.
Yeah.
Recently.
I'd anticipate probably 115, 120.
Probably.
Costs a little bit to transport it to
Right.
the location.
Right.
Jacobs Creek area, I guess you guys got some paint around some stuff out there already and going out to do some patchwork.
Yeah, in town there's some, potholes that we can take care of pretty easily, but there's some streets that are failing there, some areas in streets, so, we'll see. Needs to be some more in-depth patching done up there, but we'll get at least the rough potholes taken care of for now and see how the weather holds for us for now. We're concentrating on some asphalt roads and some settling around some boxes and stuff and main travel roads, and we'll just work down from there, the patching.
On that Autobahn, you will. Is that what you're talking about, on the way to Jacobs Creek? I forget the name of the road.
On Fauna, there's one,
Boxes.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them countywide, so they're up, tomorrow we'll be up on 50 around Agricola, a couple of structures there, but yeah, that one's getting down here fairly soon too. But there's several around.
Been a tough year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dry, and then a bunch of rain.
Right.
There's no rain, but, yeah.
All right.
Very well. Thank you.
All right. Everybody have a good week.
Have a good
You
week.
as well.
You gonna need Wade with you? Let's take a break till 10:05, or 11:05 and go
Yeah.
to the boys' room.
That'd be great.
We'll break it till 11:05. We're already behind, what the heck, right?
Yeah.
You'll keep his attention, you lose.
Amelia, you're up, finally. Sorry for the yo-yoing.
Oh, it's okay. All right, I would like to request to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel, including Coffee County Commissioners, County Attorney, and myself, and possibly Dr. Sawyer via phone if that's acceptable. He was unable to make it today.
Okay. We'll start without them.
Okay, sounds good.
And then it's
For 30 minutes.
specific to, disciplinary measures under non-elected personnel.
Okay.
Just so you know, it's that extra element.
Okay. I'll move.
Second.
Moved by Knight, second by Hughton. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. We'll enter executive session for 30 minutes at 11:08.
2 minutes.
Walk fast. All right.
One clarification for the record. At the end of, or I guess prior to going into executive session, there was a comment made about Dr. Sawyer by phone, and I said, we'll get him if we need him. And what I meant by that is, in a future executive session,
we'll get Dr. Sawyer if we need him, not that if we need him in this executive session, then we'll call him.
Wasn't gonna be optional for this one.
Well, he either needs to be a part of it or he doesn't.
Yeah.
So I just wanted that clarified. So he did not participate in this last executive session because that was my intent. Number two, we need to go back into executive session under the same exception, same people, and without Dr. Sloyer. For 20?
Got it set for 20.
Okay.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by McCurry,
I'll second that.
seconded by Thompson. Any discussion?
Coffee County Transportation brought all these cupcakes. There's a big old pan of them over there if anybody's getting hungry.
Oh, okay.
That's my own discussion.
You're taking lunchtime, aren't you?
Help yourself.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we will enter at 11:43 for 20 minutes. It's 11:41.
It is too.
Yeah. All right, camera's on.
Okay.
No action being taken after the last executive session, and going back to Dr. Sawyer will be here at 1 so that we can go into an executive session, just FYI.
Okay.
That concludes our agenda. Now we're at roundtable.
All right. First one is going back in time just a little bit, well, I guess just the last week, to our sod quotes. And I guess I can turn it over to Tom, because Tom did some legwork behind the scenes related to the quotes. Now,
I did not bring my copy of this with me.
so if you recall, just maybe to catch up to speed, there were 3 sod proposals. One from Scenic Landscapes, that's who's done all the work around the courthouse already. Their quote was $8,997. There was a quote from Bones Landscape. Their quote was for $7,680. And then Green Touch Lawn and Tree, theirs was for $5,635 with 2 additional options that totaled to $6,160. I think Bones had some additional options. Northwest corner and the southeast corner, and the total added to the 7,680 would have been 9,568 total. So at the conclusion of the last meeting, when that was brought up, more information was requested because some of the quotes included the dirt work and preparing everything related to the project. And then the one that was the lowest seemed to indicate that the owner would provide topsoil backfill, rough grade plus or minus 1 inch, and that's going to be provided. So that, I think that's where we left it, and then I'll turn it over to Tom from there. I think that catches everybody up to speed, right?
I called all 3 just to make sure everybody was on the same page. We gave you the numbers. The lowest one, which I counted all once I lost the name, Green Touch. Spoke with him in depth, and he said the amount of dirt required is we're gonna need, in the way the situation where everything's sitting now is sufficient. The wording he put in his quote, if you will, was just standard verbiage that he uses. So there's gonna be no additional fees, there's not gonna be no additional work that we need to do. So that being said, he was with the alternates like I say, it covers an island over here that Barb would like him to do, and then over there on the northwest corner as well. $6,160, yes.
Are all those areas under the sprinklers, Tom, even this extra stuff that
Yes.
Barb's talking about?
Yes. There are sprinkler heads there, yeah. Green touch.
Yeah.
Is that sod or just putting down
Solid.
straight seed? That is sod.
Solid. Again,
That's considerably less than the other two.
that's $3,000 less, but
Taking off.
the way I hear tell this, they grow sod. They grow their own sod. They don't have to buy it anywhere. It's theirs, so, which,
That's to our benefit if it's
yeah.
comparable.
The only other thing is Clement with, Scenic has done everything for us so far and has done a dang good job of it, I believe.
Yeah.
But Bones would be actually a touch higher than him, so.
Bones is what, 76, 80 tons?
Yeah.
9568.
By the time you add on the alternate,
Oh,
it's
okay.
9,000.
9560, yeah.
Yeah.
And the first one's 8997.
Yeah.
So the green touch with the alternates, if you will, are 6160.
Where did you say they were out of?
I don't know, 232, are they out of Topeka?
I think so.
Yeah. Didn't really say. But he does. It sounded like he had everything covered, so.
Get up in Spring Hill area and Egerton area, there's probably a sod road up there.
No, there is.
I don't know about, I don't know about Topeka area.
So we need to make a motion to accept the bid from Green Touch for,
If that's what you want to do.
huh?
If that's what you're wanting to do.
$6,160.
That's the motion, I'll move.
I'll second.
Which includes the alternates and the funds to come from Courthouse General. Is that right?
Yes.
Get that
Moved,
right?
seconded.
Might hand him the bid or the proposal. They might have it, what it includes and the body, and then include the two alternate bids, so it captures everything.
Okay, so it'll be for final grade and sod install, including all equipment and labor to finish turf areas, prepare sod bed, install turf type tall fescue sod, topsoil backfill roof grade, 1 inch more or less.
Now, we can strike that verbiage off there.
You can strike that.
Let me see that, I'll do that for you, if that's all right.
You're including both alternates, is that?
Yes.
That is true.
Which totals to $6,160.
Lengthy conversation with the gentleman, like you said, that, you know, the amount of soil that's needed is there, it's just normally it's not always there. So the verbiage gets good.
Sure.
I do the same thing as some of my folks, say,
I can see why, yeah.
just gotta cover.
Been, moved and seconded, moved by, Hugan and seconded by McCreary. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes.
Next.
When you're done with that, can I have that back so I can put it in?
Look at that. There you go.
Yep.
Now it's, okay.
you have all the others. I give away all my copies and
Then you don't have any.
I left mine in the truck. I didn't think to bring them today.
All right, so last week, request was made to look into Sunday sales of alcohol. So, instead of handing out a bunch of paperwork, I'm just gonna put it up on the screen. So, this is the statute that deals with that. So, the highlighted parts are really the applicable parts, but Board of County Commissioners of any county, by resolution, can expand the days of sale at retail of cereal malt beverage in the original package to allow such sale within unincorporated areas of the county on any Sunday except Easter, not earlier than 9 a.m., not later than 8 p.m. as established in the resolution, and expand the days of sale of retail alcoholic liquor in the original package. If licensing of such sale is authorized within the unincorporated area of the county, same thing. So it covers both cereal malt beverage and alcoholic liquor, which you can't do one and not the other. That's what the law says.
So I guess we're for it, so do we have something typed up and pass a resolution? Or?
Yep. I just want to, so the resolution shall be published once within 2 weeks after its adoption in the official county newspaper. The resolution shall not become effective earlier than 60 days following the date of its publication. If within 60 days following publication of the resolution, petition requesting that a proposition be submitted for approval by the voters is filed in accordance with subsection A2, such resolution shall not become effective until a proposition is submitted to and approved at an election as provided in by this subsection A. And then it talks about what's required. So,
there you go, one typed up.
So, and then it does the same thing for the city. That's what's all stricken here. So this is straight out of the statute, KSA 412911, that applies both to cities and counties. So a lot of places have Sunday sales that are open starting at noon. However, the statute says you can start at 9. Why that's important is the city of Burlington recently dealt with this, I think within the last year and a half or so. Actually, I'll tell you exactly when they July 2021. And the city of Burlington, for example, has sales starting from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just so, you asked about a resolution.
Ta-da!
Here's a resolution.
Awesome.
Resolution permitting expanding sales of alcoholic liquor and cereal malt beverages in the original package within the unincorporated area of Coffee County, Kansas on any Sunday except Easter. It talks about what you're doing, what the local authority is under 19101, that you had someone come in, it was last week, 412911 provides a local option for counties and cities to permit sales at retail cereal malt beverages on Sundays except for Easter, not earlier than 9, no later than 8 p.m. Several cities in Coffee County have exercised that option. Coffee County desires to exercise this option, and then it talks about pursuant to Section 1 covers cereal malt beverage, Section 2 covers alcoholic liquor, Section 3 is the notice provision shall be published once within 2 weeks after its adoption in the official county newspaper. Section 4 shall become effective on the 61st day following its publication. If, however, within 60 days following publication, a petition requesting that a proposition be submitted for approval by the voters is filed in accordance with subsection A2 of 412911, in which case this resolution shall not become effective until a proposition is submitted to and approved by a majority of the electors voting thereon. That's it.
So how many people are required on petition to bring that to a vote?
Let's go back to what's required. So going back to the statute, a petition to submit a proposition to the qualified voters of a county pursuant to this subsection shall be filed with the county election officer. Petition shall be signed by qualified voters,
Not less than 5%.
equal in number to not less than 5%.
Okay.
Of the county voters residing within the unincorporated area of the county.
You have to have 400 or 500 signatures.
No, it's much less than that. I ran that the other day.
Really?
I could go see if I could dig that
Oh,
up.
no, that's all right, I just assumed.
It's less than 100.
Really?
I'll be there, I think.
But
It's
they have to be
yeah, it's the
30.
percentage of people who voted for president and the general who lived in the unincorporated areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be the
I think it was 90-something, but I can't.
I was thinking countywide.
Yeah.
No,
But it's unincorporated.
unincorporated and they voted in the last election.
Okay. Oh, okay,
General
that'll cut
election.
it down way less.
Yep, that's what it should say right
I
there.
don't think you're gonna have that issue.
I don't think it's an issue anyhow.
But in full transparency, this is,
Whether it's 25 or 30.
So, do we make a motion to list it in the county need, you get the motion? No?
nope, it's built within the resolution.
Yeah.
So if this is what you wanna do.
Yep.
Let me,
Yeah.
go back to the,
I do anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, I do too.
Yes.
I don't see any reason why not to.
Make it fair for the.
Yeah, we're on a fair deal now.
yep, it's happening.
I mean, liquor stores might be a little upset, but there's only one up in the area.
Yeah.
I don't,
Life's tough.
in the unincorporated areas of the county, do they sell anything other than cereal malt beverage? I don't
No.
think they even sell liquor, so.
No, she said she'd have to have a whole new aisle that could be locked up, I think. is what she
Yeah,
said.
there was a whole different,
Different set of regulations,
Yeah.
I think.
I don't think she was in
My
that.
unofficial count was right about 95. Just went back through the reports real quick. Thought there were about 1,900 votes for president in that election in the unincorporated
Okay.
areas. So
Thank you, Brett.
And it's pretty specific if somebody's gonna do that, what the question has to say. If anybody's interested, they need to go to KSA 412911, because that's where everything's built within that one statute. So, in my opinion, by doing this way, putting it up there, going through the resolution, you're making a decision based on what the statute requires, you're putting people on notice, what is required of them if they have an issue with it, and at that point in time, it's up to somebody, if they don't like it, to go out and,
Do something about it.
and that brings to Brad. Here's a paper copy, I don't know what resolution number would be.
I'm getting it.
922,
Somewhere in that neighborhood.
923, maybe? 24, I forget where we're at.
I think that one the other day was 923, but in case you'll find it.
Just have to find it on Angie's computer.
Well, that's a good one I mentioned for the last executive session, Coffee County Transportation had the cupcakes, but they had a card on top of that that said they appreciate our support over the past 20 years and looking forward to many more years of service. George Ferry Community, Coffee County Transportation. Very good.
Give me a report, so I do cities out.
Thank you, Coffee County Director.
Pretty close to it.
our Coffee County Transportation.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great, great program.
It's great, yeah, really.
I know.
Okay, I'll just go
My
forward.
son benefits from it. Great deal for him. Wouldn't be able to have his job without it.
First time I heard the mileage, feet per haul and everything, I couldn't even comprehend the miles and the service it provides.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big deal. There you go.
We're ready for 9:23.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
The only roundtable I got is, talk about the crosswalk on the west end of the parking lot. The, concrete portion of it's gonna be done probably by the end of next week, if not this week.
Did we ever get an estimated price?
We're running it through the city.
Oh, running.
The city's paying for it, basically reimbursement, yeah, they got bid.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Very good. It wasn't much over what I said.
Would end up being more than six.
Well, yeah, we had two handicap ramps instead of one, those panels, I know for a fact, those 2 foot by 5 foot truncated dome panels like you see out there, $185 each.
Is that fiberglass?
Yeah.
Fiberglass, huh?
But they're kinda cool though, you got, caps, if you will, legs on the bottom side, you put that in the concrete, you bet it. You can take these caps off, take these screws out, and pull that panel. In case it breaks, pull that panel off, put another one.
Replace the panel, all they doing, kinda like a quick disconnector.
Pretty much.
Out with the old in the new.
Yeah. And then snow plows once in a while, have just runs.
Well, I think it would be nice.
Did we vote on that resolution? We didn't vote on that yet.
We haven't done anything with resolution yet?
That's 9:23, right?
Yep.
Yep. 2023-923. Motion for resolution 2023-923, resolution permitting and expanding sales of alcohol, liquor, and cereal malt beverage in the original package within the unincorporated area of Coffee County, Kansas on Sunday except Easter. I'm not gonna read the whole resolution.
So moved.
No second.
Moved by Hughes and seconded by McCurry. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye, motion passes.
So, once this is signed off and approved, hopefully, Angie here today?
She's out setting up elections right now. Be back.
So she'll be able to come back and sign it, so it can
Yeah.
get to,
Yeah, she'll be back in when they get set up.
what's needed, so it can get published.
Roll up and you like you sure you got more than this.
I have a 10-minute executive session.
Get us closer to one.
I got the clock set.
10 minutes, myself and the board, attorney-client,
subject matter is potential litigation surrounding a county, a pending or current county contract agreement.
Yep. The board and you?
Correct.
So moved.
Moved by Meeks,
I'll second that.
seconded by Thompson. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, we'll, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes. We're there at 12:33.
Executive again? Did you find your notes from that, sort of, in the letter? Lights on. Everybody behave themselves.
Knock it off.
Requesting no action be taken after the last executive session. And for my roundtable, I think that covers it for today.
Covers all your goodies. Steve, do you have your round table?
No, other than the discussion we had this morning on,
About the theater?
about the theater. There's just a lot of questions. I'm not comfortable doing anything until we find a little more out about it, quite honestly. And as far as the time frame is, I guess that's my thoughts on it.
To comment on your concerns, I'm all for the project, but I'm with you.
Oh.
That's quite a request to just.
Yes,
I need to
I'm not
by the
saying
end
that
of
it's
the
not a
day.
good project by any means.
Yeah.
I don't mean that at all. I just think that the timeframe, we just need some more information, costs.
Well, I mean, 33,000,
Well,
that's not what it's gonna cost to finish the inside of that building.
Jeez. There was a lot of numbers that was spread all over.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
A lengthy discussion, a work session would probably been better.
Yeah, cause I mean, if you're talking about you're gonna end up with $200,000, then what are they, 200? You know,
Yeah.
I think that was just, couldn't come up with the right figure.
and that's all I've got. I'm just not comfortable doing anything until we have a further discussion on it. And it's not that I'm against the project, it's just time-wise.
So it'd be safe to go back to her and say, after you go through your other two channels, get back with us to see if there's anything remainder that may need to be
Yeah.
contributing to it?
Yes,
To
I'm
reach
not-
the 100,000 grant?
Yeah, I'm not saying that the county shouldn't or couldn't or do something
Right.
financially. I just think that we need some more information and they need to go ahead and exhaust anything else that they've got out there.
Pursue all the other avenues.
Right.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Well, somebody's just gonna have to call her and say, hey, you know, once you get your final numbers of what you got, so on and so forth.
There's surely a phone number way to reach Pam, and I wouldn't mind doing a call if you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Brian may be able to look on that.
I'm sure she's got a
There's some way.
Yeah, you take, to me, you take, and that's what I've got written down for round table. It'd be great to help her, and maybe we can later, because she needs a lot more stuff brought to the table, needs to do it 30 days ahead instead of 4 days ahead.
Instead of 4 days ahead.
I got a little bit of an issue if she don't have insurance on it. Liability is probably much needed because of.
She said
and
she
she's
had
right.
liability.
Yeah, said she had liability,
Yeah,
but that,
yeah.
and the chances of the storm or something taking it down is probably awful slim, but.
Fire can happen at any second.
But you take commercial insurance for that, you know, she might get into 3 or 4 thousand real quick, or maybe 5 or 6.
I'm sure.
But
That's
that's commercial,
But that's part of the game. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
That's what makes those projects.
I'm surprised she gets some grant money without insurance.
yeah, I am too.
Yeah, I bet you insurance from that big a building, square footage and everything, it's probably, maybe if it ain't 6,000, it could be 10.
It might be cheaper where it's a historic society.
Yeah,
type
it might make a
building.
difference
It
there,
might
make
be
it-
cheaper.
I don't have anything else to us.
No, it's the same thing, so I don't have anything other than that.
Don, do you have anything?
That's all I got. I just made a note that we need to visit about it.
Tom?
I brought up Wade, I don't think you were here, but the city got a bid on the handicap ramp crosswalk west end of the parking lot. And, so that'll be done, like, say, by the end of next week at the latest. And like I say again, if it's okay if I call Pam Scott.
Oh, yes, it's fine.
You bet,
Oh,
yes.
yes, son.
And then Wade touched base with me, it was last week, about, lighting over there at the parking lot. And I intentionally drove by there when it's dark the other morning or whatever. Of course, I'm up early anyway, but you're not wrong. But I think, yeah, it's kind of dark, but I think it'd be pretty easy, and maybe temporarily, maybe ask the city to put a yard light, I call it, in the alley there. There's a telephone pole that's being used by the telephone company only, but, and looking at that, we'd have to get up an electrician, of course, but to put a couple of light poles, if you will, decorative type style like the city's got maybe, and these are just ideas, not suggestions, not requests.
May contact the city and see if they have any ideas too, so we don't.
Yeah, correct. But I don't think it'd be hard to get power to them, I guess what I'm saying, from the alley and over there.
So would you think the lights on the north side of the parking lot? You know,
I think you could do north and west. From the list of things.
Doesn't that have an island where grass or something is? Could a person put the lights in that area?
There's no island out there.
No, on the edge, on the outer edge.
On the west edge, yeah, you could, but that one island on the, I call it the southwest corner, if you will, it's gonna be concreted in for the crosswalk area.
Right. But isn't there a green space that you have to step over?
Mm-hmm.
So you could put like maybe 2 lights in there on the south side, and that'd light the whole area.
It's 3 foot of dirt
Or
all
something.
over. There's 3 foot of dirt.
Yeah. Something can be done, I'm sure. It's just-
It's really dark, so.
Okay, well, that'd be a good.
But on the south side, isn't there already streetlights there somewhat that light that area to be on? Oh, there's not.
I looked at that.
Okay.
The only one's right here on the
Okay.
south,
Okay.
east corner.
All right.
Okay.
Once the day started getting shorter, and I'd walk out at 7 or 8 o'clock, and I couldn't even see my car. So, I think, it's something that needs immediate attention, especially if employees are gonna be parking over there.
Okay. Well, and so, I guess the question would be, do we need to, like, have an engineer, do we need to get up? Do we need to get up with 2 or 3 electricians?
$200,000 lights.
Maybe you need to see if the city would even do it for it.
I would make contact with the city and see if the city has some ideas, because they might, it might be something, because it's on city property, isn't it? Or it's a city, well, no.
It's all private property.
The city surely got some poles around, they might help us out on it.
The pole on that corner, is that the one you're talking about?
Well, there's like one in this based almost in the center, but there's no, electric lines attached to it, if you will. It's more like a pole that was there for the phone company or the cable company at one time. It's been somewhat discontinued, but it's still there. But I was just thinking that would be temporary.
Yeah.
So like I say, just a street light, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I was gonna suggest that one of us get up at the city to see if that could be done temporarily.
Yep.
And then, of course, we could further discussion, I guess, about permanent lighting and seeing what they would allow or not allow.
Yeah, so the consensus appears to be to move forward with figuring out the light situation, contact the city, and then from there, continue to explore lighting options.
Yeah, because that parking lot needs to be lit.
I never
Well, no, I
mean, it's not,
never-
no, I mean, I never thought about lighting over there when we were talk about it.
Well,
It's not horrible, but yeah, he's right, it's dark.
This time of year, it's bad, and
Especially now
with the weather, if it gets bad and somebody, being proactive is better than being reactive.
Being able to see what they're walking on. and
Yeah,
what have
that's
you.
it.
The weather's bad.
Well, the city won't meet again till next week, so.
We can reach out to one of their
Department heads.
Would
And that
be
would
Steve?
be Ellen Snyder. With the electric, I assume it'd be a good starting spot, I think.
Something else popped into your head while he was talking.
Nope, that was it.
That was it, okay.
Yep. I'm glad he remembered, because I had it written down, and then I don't know what I did with it.
Oh, we don't got much going on. I didn't forget it.
You got anything else?
I can reach out to the city on the lighting field too, if that's okay with everyone.
That's great.
Fire away. Just keep the engineers out of it. Or architects.
Yeah.
That costs $1,000 just to use that word.
Probably.
The phone rings.
We'll get a bill next week. Right?
Yeah. Casey, you got anything? Haynes, you got anything for us?
Just a reminder that election day is tomorrow.
Oh,
Polls are from 7 to 7.
get out and vote.
Yep.
City and school, basically,
City school.
no county or federal, state issues at all.
I don't think I have anything for round table. If I do, it'll come up later for sure.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
Any new information on the north property regarding an agreement?
I voted.
Thanks, Jay.
I spoke with Bart Thursday or Friday of last week. Chris got pretty sick, debilitating headaches, so they had to kind of take over where he was and get stuff done for the banks and everything. So they're about a month behind where they should be, but everything's done. So as far as the agreement, no. I know he was running helter-skelter trying to get everything done that Chris had started and needed to complete, so I haven't got that far. So and I'm still working on the other thing too. So as far as SSM, yeah, I've got no agreement with them yet.
Okay.
So still plugging along. Yeah, we've got some road and bridge things here that we won't get signed before we have to go back to executive session, but I guess we can start on them. Let's check here, I just need to sign the back of it, is that right?
Yes. That's for the sale of the airport.
Oh, the airport property sold, it's $31,979.41 for, what was that, 8 acres? Yeah. Total was $32,000 minus the fees. There you are, ma'am.
Thank you.
Vehicle registry, didn't we have this last week?
I don't know if that one is.
Because they didn't have the front sheet in it. Because we asked about the front, they brought the front sheet in.
Or this might be for, the longevity check. Because it's 11/17.
Oh, I gotcha. doctor coming up here? Was he meeting down there?
It's gonna be the summer.
He can be center. What are we thinking, 30 minutes, Wade?
Let's
20?
start with 20. I just wanna make sure that Dr. Slaughter needs to get back to somewhere we don't.
Hold him up. Okay. I've got it set.
So the motion will be similar to the motions from earlier. And I'm pulling that up just to,
The disciplinary measures.
yes.
To include Dr. Sawyer. Be the only addition.
Yep, to include Dr. Slaughter.
Okay, got it.
Do I need to read that?
Yes.
Oh, I just went out. Come on.
Motion to enter into executive session, to include commissioners, county counselor, health department administrator, and the local health officer, Dr. Slaughter, to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel regarding potential disciplinary measure or action, all under the Kansas Open Meetings Act, for 20 minutes.
I'll move.
I'll second that.
Moved by Knight, second by Thompson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. We'll enter at 1:04 for 20 minutes.
Didn't mean to hijack that.
Wade had to go to the boys' room. No action taken?
No action taken.
The lopsided.
No, it's flying around.
Oh, okay.
We have all those You know, we're actually in November, so, oh, we are, good grief. Oh, just a month and a half off, or 2 months. Good grief.
Wade, do you need to get to moving to your physical therapy?
No, I've got an hour yet almost.
You got an hour?
Yeah, 2:20.
Oh, that's right.
Soon enough, yeah.
Got plenty of cupcakes. You got anything else for me? That we signed these or not? If you were here last week, there was a jury trial in the big courtroom, and then we also have court in the small courtroom.
And if you were part of any of that, I was in the small courtroom because the civil trial was going on in the big courtroom. Usually it's the other way around. I had all-day court on Tuesday, and I would say all day on Wednesday, but enough. It's a situation where if you were a part of it, you would understand why that magistrate courtroom needs to be expanded and why it's a necessity moving into the future that renovation on the court side take place. You have both courtrooms operating at the same time, especially with a jury trial. You're on top of each other, and if you think people in here are on top of each other, we had chairs lined all the way around the courtroom, and some of them 2 deep, and everybody was on top of each other. And that was all day Tuesday.
How are we gonna make more room in there for that? That's my question. I mean, you only got so much inside your four corners.
They're expanding the magistrate courtroom to make it bigger. So they said adding a courtroom, it's not adding a courtroom, it's making it longer. And then,
You're gonna take out that back office back there?
They're redoing that entire side. I mean, all the jail cells where the jail currently sits is gonna be gone. So that's gonna be a combination of offices and expanded jail, and then there'll be, public access to go and sit in a waiting area for the new courtroom, or not, the renovated courtroom. There will be a secure corridor going from the jail to the courtrooms, because last week, there's one hallway in, one hallway out, and that hallway, everybody has to go up and down that hallway, unless you're going to the main courtroom, and that is not an ideal design at all. So, I'd encourage you, if you ever have the opportunity where both courtrooms are running at the same time, to just see what the issue is. If one courtroom's running, you're never gonna run into it, but if both are running, and on Wednesdays especially, both courtrooms run. Judge Wine has the docket, and then Judge Reynolds has the docket, and they're both running simultaneously at the same time. So, I don't know, I thought I'd throw that out there since last week, it really became an issue, that was something you could visually see, and if you're in the courtroom and they have everybody all around you in that small courtroom. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Well, I noticed. Last week's paper had probably 35 or 40 or maybe 50 judgments. There was 2 or 3 solid columns of all judgments last week in the paper.
Yeah, that was catch-up, some catch-up stuff.
Some of it was catch-up.
Wasn't current.
I just noticed the parking situation. It was the angle parking we got going on now and across the street and everything else was advantageous for just what you described, so.
I ran into some of the people who were potential jurors. It wasn't my case, so I asked them, and they said, "Oh no, parking was great, no issues." But that's maybe the calm before the storm.
It's gonna change, there's once all employees gotta park over there, so.
Which is why lighting over there is a key. So that's all I had.
So this got that line through it, that inside, I guess not.
Only thing I got here is checks. There's no reason for y'all to be sitting here watching me sign checks.
Well, I guess I just, got 1, 2 more things, I guess, just FYI, I guess. Seems like, I don't know, when I came here, I had a lot of people come to me and say, you need to stream live stream the meetings live so everybody can see, be transparent, so. Me and one other commissioner, Cody Hack, we just got it done. I guess it's a good and a bad situation. So it seems like everybody's paying attention and watching us, I guess, and that's great. But we're not gonna make everybody happy in any decision we make. Somebody's not gonna like something. A lot of scuttlebutt about we're not having turkey for Thanksgiving. So, sorry we're not having turkey for Thanksgiving. I guess if you were a diabetic, there wouldn't be no freaking chocolate pie, there wouldn't be no carbs, there wouldn't be this, wouldn't be that. Got ham, got brisket, got potatoes, got dessert. We're good. KP&F. No one ever said that the sheriff's department's better than any other employee in this county. That's not the intent. If you want KP&F, you want that extra 12% toward your retirement, go fill out an application with Sheriff Johnson, go to the training, strap on a gun. You go to a domestic dispute. You work a traffic accident when people are laying out on the highway. You go to an EMT call where somebody's mother or father is deceased. You go work night shift for 12 hours. You work 12-hour days. I mean, in a vehicle, by yourself, so you go on a call. You want KP&F? Grab on a gun.
There's nothing equal about it, the jobs aren't equal.
It was designed for people that, like Wade says, you're running to danger, not away from danger.
Right.
And I still feel good about
Yeah.
my decision on that.
And so, with that being said, I mean, the sheriff came and said it's a hiring tool. And I believe that. I mean, most other counties around us are going to KP&F. I've talked to several people, other entities, if you will, that they go to KP&F, and their salary's quite a bit higher than ours too. So, I mean, it's a, you know, in the sheriff's department, our salary is not matching with the others, and maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, but, at least we got the KP&F. It helps him as a hiring tool. And so, with that being said, I guess any department head, I mean, we've even backed Road and Bridge on some of his recommendations on it. And we excluded, you have to be in the county to work for the county. That's a hiring tool. Now you can go outside the county and maybe get that person who's been working in construction all his life and he's tired of the 70-hour week stuff. He wants to go to an 8 to 5, whatever. So any department head comes in here and, you know, can convince us that we need to do whatever it is as a hiring mechanism, then I'm all for it, because, you know, I'm sure Jesse's is trying to hire people isn't the easiest. Mine isn't the easiest. I mean, it's a struggle. It's everywhere. So
it is. Well, on the KP&F, you know, I was probably a little bit opposed to it to start with, but after visiting with a lot of other counties around us, in fact, every one of them except Osage, and there were 2 or 3 of the sheriffs that were going to bring it to the commission this next year, that I totally convinced myself that, and I already knew, you know, 12-hour shifts, I already knew the exposure, I already knew all that type of stuff, but I'm certainly glad that I supported it the way I did after I had done a lot of discovery, and I just felt comfortable with talking to some of these other sheriffs that I somewhat know a little of them, so.
You know, and I even spoke with a gentleman that's been in law enforcement before, and we talked to him about the KP&F, and the way he kind of described it as a plus is an officer gets to retire earlier, so you really, and I'm not meaning to take anything away from a police officer, but he said in all reality, when you get that guy that's 55, 58 years old, he's not out there beating the streets because he physically can't do what he used to do. You're basically paying because he's been there so long, you're paying a premium price for him to sit at a desk and do paperwork and just kind of be there for backup. So
yeah, there's more than one purpose of him retiring early. Because we have somebody young enough that's more able to do the job.
In the long run, if they are able to retire at 50, 52, whatever, you're probably saving money in the long run. And I never even thought about that until that gentleman brought it to my attention. So that's all. I just had to voice my opinion.
Ben, voice your opinion, Ben?
It's not opinion, but again, you know, no secret I'm diabetic, and it just, you know, it's frustrating for me as a diabetic sometimes, like even when you do the Wolf Creek drills, you go down there and there's donuts and Smokies. Dang it. Our lunch is I can't do carbs, so I mean, lunch is a sub sandwich. I don't do sandwiches really. I mean, if I do, it's a small one. And, potato chips, more carbs, and then cookies.
Pizza.
There's some more, or pizza. I mean, it's just, I can't, the pizza sauce has sugar in it. I mean, there's umpteen things. I think I was telling you guys earlier, I ate some watermelon one time and my blood sugar's out the freaking roof just eating watermelon. So natural sugars aren't the greatest. So I guess we're not having turkey. I don't want any pie around here.
The point is,
Hey, that's all gonna just save money.
Okay.
So,
Nothing's ideal for everybody. It's just the bottom line. We're trying to do the best we can.
Yeah, and like I say, we're just not gonna make everybody happy, and it took me a year or so being in this to realize it's hard.
it's impossible.
Yeah. I tell everybody that in my business, I have to make my employees happy, and I gotta come here and make these employees happy, and then you gotta make the inspector of a job happy, and then the engineer's gotta be happy, and then you gotta go home.
Got one more.
You gotta make mine happy. Better not go there. Better not go there, Tom.
I agree.
Well said.
It's all fun. It's all fun. It'll be good.
So the thing about KPNF and law enforcement and fire that doesn't get talked about is the vicarious and secondary trauma that they experience being a part of the things that they see, witness. I mean, I get called out to some fatalities or deaths in general. And to walk in and see someone face down in a pool of blood and you're trying to figure out what happened and how do you deal with that, and to not internalize that, you have to build a callus, you have to deal with that, and law enforcement deals with that on a regular basis. They go find a body, check a body, and investigate a body for whatever reason it may be, whether it be traffic related or unattended death or whatever it is, and they have a duty and responsibility. Not everybody does that. Not everybody can do that. They deal with child sex crimes and child abuse crimes and different things like that. And they have to keep their stuff together, be able to present it in a way where justice can be done and served to those who are victims and survivors of crimes. It's not an easy job. And if you want to find out just the tip of the iceberg, go talk to the girls over in the county attorney's office, or go talk to the deputy. That they're not gonna talk about it because that's personal to people. And one of the reasons why I'm pushing for that office to be in a different place is I think it's a disservice to any victim of any crime to have to walk down this hallway and nobody knows who they are, but to them everybody's staring at them because they're getting ready to come in and talk to me. Why are they coming and talking to the county attorney? And then they have to walk, I call it the walk of shame, because to them that's what it is. And I think that's extremely unfair. On the law enforcement side, out on I-35, I can't tell you how many videos that I've watched, and it's too many, where you have a deputy standing at the side of a vehicle doing a traffic stop. Then a drunk driver comes and clips them and smashes the side of their car as they're driving by. And you're that far away from having something that is a tragedy for this area. Unfortunately, no one gets hurt. And that's what they're out there doing on a day-to-day basis, and protecting and serving everybody in this county. So that's what KPNF is about.
Well, and not to mention, I failed to mention that, any vehicle you pull over in today's society, I mean, you don't know who or what you're pulling over. I do not envy their job one.
And what makes it worse is the nighttime pull, because then you can't see anything.
Yeah, you have no idea.
You have no idea. Dark windows already eliminated. Well, agreed.
And the number of people who are pulled over and have firearms either on their person or under their seat, I'm not talking about the law-abiding citizens. I'm talking about the ones who had no business having that type of firearm.
You know, before you get a hunting license, and I thought about this the other day, before you get a hunting license, you have to pass hunter safety course, so why wouldn't that be a requirement before you go get firearms? But it's not. I don't answer that. I didn't think about that till the other day.
So that's, I'll talk to anybody about taking it. Doesn't affect me, it doesn't impact me.
Well, I just felt it was kind of bad that, you know, they thought, the rest of the employees thought we were meaning that they were better than them, and that was the way it was worded to me, and it's like, that was not the meaning at all.
No, we've got great
Each
employees.
employee around here is an asset. It's not, but again, like Wade says, if you're running 2 dudes, you're not away from it, you're not working, you gotta work 12-hour shifts, isn't it, right? And
Mostly 12-hour shifts, yeah.
Some of them, they're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
well, that too, but I mean, you know, it's just, that's a thankless job. I mean, anybody's gonna get arrested, it's cops.
That's one thing that 3 or 4 of the sheriffs said to me. The sheriff, most of the sheriff's departments are 24/7.
Yeah.
And,
Well, they're all 24/7. I mean, that's not some, they all are.
That's all I had. Hopefully.
Has a good little short discussion.
Yep, I was. Well, maybe it'll clear things up and
Not our intention.
make things, yep. So, I guess everybody got the pamphlet from Tim Johnson. Little write-up about KNRC.
Yeah, I got it. We were working on it.
I know he attended some more clean energy windmill deals, so
Sounds like he's pretty active.
he's very active. Thank you, Wade.
Yep, thank you. Thank you.
Tim is out and about all day.
We're getting something for our money, in my opinion.
Yes, he is very active, and he's spreading the word. So, but nobody has anything else, we can adjourn at 1:46.
Very good.
I'll stay here and sign paper, sign checks.